Yeah, it's good. Tell him I said hi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, roll.
Okay, Joe, do you think you set up a higher standard for the superhero films? Because now, none of us will be ever satisfied with one hero in a film.
I don't know. You know, it's interesting because, you know, it's hard to say where we're going with this
Right.
because we try to just make one movie at a time and put all of our thought and our energy and our effort in that one film because if the film doesn't turn out well, there might not be another movie. So, you know, I'm happy that people are responding to this film the way that they're responding to it. I'm a comic book fan. I'm passionate about filmmaking. So, you know, my favorite thing is when when the audience is happy. So,
Right.
I'm excited, and you know, we'll see where it goes from here.
But you mentioned that you're a comic book fan. So this movie particularly actually changed the slot. I mean, the plot in the comic book.
Yeah.
Do you under a big pressure when you try to, you know, adjust the story?
I don't think we feel pressure so much because our job is to service the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
Right.
not the publishing side.
Right.
And I think that our duty is to make sure that we're fulfilling the storytelling the best that we can for the movies that have preceded us, from the movies that have preceded us. And the comic books and the movies are not the same thing. They're not telling the same stories. They're not focusing on the same characters.
Right.
We don't have, you know, 30 of the characters that are in that Civil War publishing, you know, so we couldn't make that into a movie. But what we can do is we can take the concept
Right.
behind it, the idea, and we can apply that to our characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
There are 13 films out of Marvel Universe. So
right, yeah.
you are kind of like making a new groundbreaking records because, you know, probably the most successful franchise movies are 007.
Right.
And they spend like more than half decades to make 24 films.
Right.
But you only spent like 8 years to produce 13 out of them.
Right. We're excited about it. The folks at Marvel are fantastic. They're very, very smart people. They really understand storytelling. They're fans too. They love this. Kevin Feige runs Marvel. The same thing is sitting in a room with him watching these movies. He gets so excited by the stories because it's what he dreamt about when he was a kid. Now he's so excited to bring that to the world. So I think that passion translates. And I think what Marvel's doing is unprecedented. And it's a little different than Bond because, you know, Bond is a series of movies, a sequelization. This is a bunch of different franchises that are interweaving storylines. And I think that's unprecedented. And I think that really speaks to the audience, and I think that's why Marvel's doing so well.
And by speaking to the audience, these kind of franchise movie, they have the same unique characteristic. It's like you scout all over the place.
Right.
Around the globe.
Around the globe, that's
The
right.
Taiwan is somewhere is missing out.
Yeah, that's right. We're working hard to try and get these movies set everywhere that we can.
Right.
We have Infinity War coming up, so who knows?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, and part 1, part 2.
That's right.
Yeah, we're so
We're going to
looking
need a lot of
forward to it.
locations for those movies. Yeah.
And I think your brother made a great job, like dividing everyone in the movie, because
Oh,
you know
thank you.
usually for the big group like this, especially every single one, they are superhero. They have their own story.
That's right.
It's really hard to balance everyone in one film. How do you manage to do that?
Takes a lot of work. You're right.
Right.
It is very hard because you have to think about each character. You have
Right.
to really go through the script and think through: are we tracking this character? Are we understanding what this character is thinking? Is this character feel motivated to the audience? So it does. It takes a lot of work in the script phase to make sure that you are servicing all the characters equally.
How do you work on the script for just for that perspective?
For about a year. Yeah.
Wow.
Long time. Yeah. Every day.
And for a sibling directing the film, do you find it's more like a civil war or a team?
A little bit of both. Yeah. We certainly love to argue through issues. That's part of our process. Best idea wins, we say. So the better the argument, then you know, if an idea can stand up to an argument, then we feel like it's a good idea, and that's the idea we'll go with.
Great, and best reason to see Civil War?
I think that the audience is going to laugh and cry, and I think that makes for a really good movie-going experience. They get both.
Great, and one last question, like Robert Jr., they said this is the last Iron Man movie he's gonna do. Is that true?
It's not. He's with us in Infinity War, so it's not over yet. So I think it might be the last. I don't know if he's going to do an Iron Man 4. I'm not sure if he's up for it or not. So, but anything's possible at Marvel, and it really will come down to him and Kevin Feige sitting and discussing whether they want to do. They have a story to tell.
Right. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Joe.
so much. I appreciate
Thank you.
it.